You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, I've got your early edition spoilers for Monday, September 2nd through Friday, September 6th. Sarah Horton's memories are coming back of the accident, and that could be problematic for her mother-in-law. Meanwhile, Eric Brady is back in Salem, and there's one person I can think of who's not going to be very happy about that. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and as we always do on early edition day, we start with going over what's happening the rest of this week on the NBC Peacock soap, just to give you some context for the spoilers coming next week. With that in mind, we are going to begin with the action on Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. So Kristen tried to clean up Brady's mess. She got his car squashed, but EJ was happy to go ahead and okay an indictment as the district attorney. And Kristen tried to warn Brady to run, and they definitely made it seem like he was going to run because he completely bailed on Tate at the hospital after Tate confessed he'd been not at lacrosse camp and at Smith Island hanging out with his girlfriend. But then Brady showed up over at the Salem Police Department, and we're going to pick back up with that on Wednesday. That was in the final moments of Tuesday's episode. So Brady goes ahead and he confesses to Jada Hunter, "That's my car. I ran over Sarah. I don't know where my car is." I can't imagine that he would throw Kristen's name out there as having gotten rid of the car. Just more of, I have no idea what happened to the car. I assume it's stolen. Something like that. Meanwhile, Holly and Tate address that their actions have consequences. So for Tate, I mean, I think his dad's going to be too busy to do a lot to him, but Holly is absolutely devastated because she feels personally responsible for Sarah's predicament and her paralysis, because Maggie had mentioned that they were looking for the key for the cabin and Holly had lifted it because Tate had locked himself out. And Sarah was going to go back with Maggie to the Kiriakis mansion to look for the key. And that's when she got run over. And so the math for Holly is that A plus B equals me to blame. I don't think Sarah's holding her to account for this. Neither is Maggie. And I'm sure Tate will reassure her, but Holly is absolutely horrified. And I'm guessing Maggie may punish her as well, but Maggie also has a lot on her plate. These kids may have to face consequences after these crises are done. Xander offers some suggestions for Sarah. He doesn't want them to go back to the apartment now that she is going to be getting released from the hospital. It's not, wheelchair accessible. It was kind of funny. Linsey Godfrey, the actress, was talking about that there's no way that a wheelchair would have fit in that set anyway. And she said even as it was that they were bumping into stuff. And she joked about the coffee table on the set and just, that it was always, I think, causing problems for them. So Xander thinks they should relocate to the Kiriakis mansion. That way Maggie and others will be there to help with baby Victoria. And, when he's got stuff to do, Sarah won't be home alone. And Sarah takes it one step further. She's like, cool, let's bring your mom with us. And Xander agrees. Now, Fiona has tossed away her bottle of hooch, and she is legit trying to clean up her act. So I'm very interested to see if she is busted boozing at the Kiriakis mansion. Justin eavesdrops on Fiona, and he may hear some information that could be helpful to his new client, Brady Black. Thursday, August 29th, Ava confronts Kristen. She's upset that she fired her. And of course, Kristen told EJ that he had to fire Ava because it was a condition of Gabi keeping Gabi chic at DiMera Enterprises. EJ doesn't care. He hates Ava. No big for him. Connie gets manipulative with her prisoner, Melinda Trask, who's tied up, yelling, totally PO'd as one would be. I am hoping that Connie has a conversation with Cardboard Lee, with Origami Lee, while Melinda is in the room. To see her talking to this cardboard cutout, I think that would, let her know. And that may be what's happening on Friday. I'll get to that spoiler in just a second. Chad decides he's not ready to tell his son Thomas that Abby is back from the dead. He's having some concerns. Kristen's put concerns into his brain. He's having some concerns of his own. So bringing the kids into this, just to get their feelings hurt in case there's something hinky with it, not a good idea. I think he's being a good dad. Gabi wants to take Stefan to the cleaners in their divorce. She and crazy Connie have a talk. Connie's like, you do that, girl. And then Connie, of course, because she wants to ruin all happiness that Gabi and Stefan has, is then telling Gabi, you need to get over that man by getting under a new one, and is pointing her to go have a fling of her own. Friday, August 30th, Melinda is terrified because she realizes just how insane that Connie is. And that's when I wonder if Connie might be having a cardboard cutout conversation with Lee in front of Melinda, because that would freak me out if somebody was doing that and acting like it was a real person. Gabi comes to EJ with a very intriguing offer, and in the spoilers photos, they are standing very close. They're looking like, hey, now they don't like each other, not at all, which would mean that the Nookie would probably be that much hotter because they are both gorgeous people. I've mentioned this here before. One of my favorite romance novel tropes is enemies to lovers. So I like that, and that's the good old days from like the soaps at their heyday, in the 90s, people would start fighting and it ended up, in the bedroom. I love when stuff like that happen. Jada brings Stephanie a terrible gift. She drops off Everett Lynch's ashes. Hopefully they'll commiserate. I'd like to hear the last of him just to nail it shut. However, because he's still been wrongly blamed for one of Connie's crimes, I'm sure we've not heard the last of Everett. And Connie accuses Ava of talking smack about her and makes threats. And I wonder if Ava has realized that maybe Melinda, went missing over there. All right, now let's talk about what's coming September 2nd through the 6th. So on Monday, we're going to see Johnny finding out something about Chanel that kind of freaks him out, but he's going to have to adjust to it. I wonder if Johnny already knew that Chanel and Allie had a three-way with Alex or not. Or maybe he just knew that Allie slept with Alex and that was why she and Chanel broke up. I'm very curious. I feel like he knew, but it's been so long. I'm not pulling it up. Drop it in the comments if you remember, but I just don't know. So that same day, Alex is very nervous. They've talked him into auditioning for Body and Soul. I even hate to talk about it. He's nervous. Stephanie helps him out. Stephanie has a ton of scenes next week. If you're a Stephanie fan, this is the week for you. If you're not, finger on the fast forward. That's all right. Tuesday, September 3rd, Chad needs some help with Abigail, and so he turns to Stephanie since she's a friend of his and family to Abigail. I have a new suggestion. I've been calling her not Abby. Some people were calling her Phoebe, like Fauxby, like faux, like fake. I'm wondering if we should call her Abifail, because I think this is a complete fail, this storyline. So I'm torn. Not Abby, Nabby, Abifail. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And Stefan runs into not Abby, and it is not a very friendly vibe. So she has found out from EJ that she ended up in his bed and also in Stefan's bed. And of course, the thing with Stefan is a lot more complicated because Abby was in the throes of a DID meltdown and he was sleeping with her alter, Gabigail, which a lot of other characters, including Chad and a whole lot of the fandom, thought was tantamount to rape because Abby was not herself, therefore could not have consented. So this is so soapy and messy. Wednesday, September 4th, Leo tells his boss, Chad, over at the Salem Spectator, I got to ditch my gossip gig. Lady Whistleblower is no more because I am a soap writer now, is what he's going to tell him. And Gabi tells Stefan what happened. She's confessing to him, and I wonder if she's going to tell him she slept with EJ or if she really slept with EJ. That's what I'm kind of hoping. Thursday, September 5th, John goes to visit his son, Brady Black, and advises him, think things through. Don't just confess everything. Don't take any rash actions. Slow it down, because if you say things and do things, you can't dial them back. So he's very worried about his kid. And Eric returns to Salem. He wants to be there for his stepbrother, Brady Black. Per my leaker, they tell me that he is supposed to be in town for 2 months. We will see more on that, hopefully, when we have the official spoilers. I have all the official spoilers for the week. I'm just treating you guys to a few. But Eric's duration, I haven't heard from an official NBC Peacock source, just my leaker. So we'll see. Friday, September 6th, we are going to round out the week with an Eric versus EJ confrontation. And that sounds like we're going to get an update on Nicole and Jude. We shall see. Obviously, EJ is still going to be salty about Nicole running off with Eric. I wonder if that divorce is final or EJ still dragging his heels. Maybe that's why Eric comes by to see him. And Fiona should be well and truly horrified because by next Friday, Sarah Horton's memories of the hit and run accident begin to return. And, you know, I would think that she would remember at the minimum if it was a man or woman behind the wheel because she heard the tires and she looked straight ahead into it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, those are all of our early spoilers. Drop your comments. Let me know what you're excited to see, what you're not so excited to see. I want to hear it all. Subscribe if you're not following us and definitely come back soon. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt and I'm here talking Days of Our Lives with you guys 7 days a week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.